I was driving cross country when I stopped at a 24-hour diner in the middle of nowhere. It was late, maybe 11 p.m., and the place was nearly empty. There was an older man behind the counter, a waitress cleaning tables, and one other customer sitting in a booth. After I ordered, the other customer, a scruffy-looking guy in a hoodie, kept staring at me. It was uncomfortable, but I ignored him. When my food came, he got up and left without ordering anything. About 20 minutes later, I was finishing up when I heard the sound of a lock clicking. The man behind the counter had locked the front door. I looked up and said, "Isn't this place open 24 hours?" He smiled and said, "Just being cautious. You never know who's out there." That's when I noticed the waitress was gone. I asked about her, and he said she'd stepped out back for a smoke. Something felt off, but I didn't want to overreact. I paid my bill and headed for the door, but it wouldn't open. I turned to the man, and his friendly demeanor was gone. He said, "You're not leaving yet." My heart started racing. I demanded he unlock the door, but he just leaned against the counter, staring at me. I backed away and ran toward the kitchen, hoping to find another exit. As I reached the back door, I heard footsteps behind me. I pushed the door open and sprinted to my car. As I fumbled with the keys, I saw the waitress standing in the shadows, just watching me. I didn't stop to think. I got in and sped off. When I looked back in the rearview mirror, the man and the waitress were standing in the middle of the road, just staring as my taillights disappeared into the night. I work the night shift at a small office building downtown. One night, the weather turned bad, heavy snowstorm, and by the time my shift ended, the streets were deserted and my car wouldn't start. I called for a ride, but no one could make it because the roads were already icy. I decided to wait inside the office until the plows came through. Around 3 a.m., there was a loud knock on the glass doors. It startled me because no one ever comes by that late. I walked up to see a man standing there, looking panicked. He claimed his car had slid off the road and asked if he could come inside to warm up. I hesitated, but didn't want to leave him out in the cold. I let him in and offered him some coffee from the break room. He sat down, but didn't take his coat off, which I thought was odd. Then I noticed something else. His shoes weren't wet. If he'd been outside in the storm, they should have been soaked. I started feeling uneasy. As we talked, I kept catching him glancing at the security cameras in the exits. He asked weird questions like, "Is it just you here tonight?" And, "Does anyone else have keys to the building?" My gut was screaming at me, so I lied and said my coworker was upstairs, sleeping. That seemed to put him on edge. He suddenly got up and said he needed to use the restroom. I pointed him in the direction, but instead of going there, he started walking toward the back exit. I grabbed the phone and pretended to call someone. Loudly, I said, "Hey, can you come downstairs? That guy is acting weird." As soon as I said that, he bolted out the back door. I locked all the doors and called the police. They found footprints leading away from the building, but nothing else. To this day, I wonder what would have happened if I'd been completely alone or hadn't lied about someone else being there.